Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Tonight on the SEC ESPN Network, it's college baseball as the South Alabama Jaguars out of the Sun Belt Conference meet the LSU Tigers from the SEC. We bring you inside beautiful Alex Box Stadium, Skip Bertman Field, with two-time College World Series champion pitcher Ronnie Rance. I'm Len Rollins. It was a tough weekend for LSU, losing 3 games at Tennessee. 2 of those were one-run losses, and 2 of the 3 games went into extra innings. However, there was a bright spot at the plate for LSU. Rookie Trey Morgan was really good offensively.
Well, the freshman came in batting under 300 for the year. He left Knoxville with the average up to 337. He had a 5-hit game on Saturday, and he really was the leader for an LSU offense that had 31 hits over the weekend and out-hit Tennessee in all 3 games they played. So the freshman out of New Orleans has been on fire of late.
Morgan's 337 average is second on the team. He also has 20 runs driven in. This South Alabama team is white hot right now. It defeated Northwestern State in Natchitoches over the weekend, sweeping the Demons, and they've won 5 in a row.
Big reason is that guy right there, Ethan Wilson. He came in as a preseason All-American. The left fielder has been very good of late. Had a slow start, average now up to 320, has 5 bombs on the year, right as they're getting into conference play, and that's important because he's the preseason Sun Belt Conference Player of the Year.
Let's check some numbers between South Alabama and LSU.
LSU batting about 40 points higher than South Alabama. The ERAs are similar, around 4 apiece. LSU with a couple runs per game more, and they lead the nation with 42 home runs, 2 ahead of second place.
It's game time, everyone, and Cameron Tissue will lead it off for the South Alabama team. This is a lineup that right now features only 2 300 hitters. Ethan Wilson in the 3-hole, and then Carter Sanford is a freshman down at the bottom of the order, but has not played much, only has a couple of base hits in 6 at-bats. Meanwhile, the rookie Will Helmers, who's pitched very well in a variety of roles for LSU this year, gets the start, as he usually does, in a midweek game.
You see Helmers, 88 to 90 will be his velocity. Len out of Metairie, Louisiana, with the Jesuit High School, who is another fantastic team again this year. Good pitcher size, 6'4", 203 pounds, and the key for him is he usually pounds the zone, and down in the strike zone is where he throws most of his strikes.
Does he ever? Only 5 walks allowed in 21 1/3 innings. Walks were a very big problem for the entire staff over the weekend in Knoxville. Helmers, though, has only walked 5 in those 21 1/3 innings while striking out 25. He's ahead in the count, and he leaves that breaking pitch upstairs.
Yeah, 5-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. That is outstanding, and even more emphasis right after LSU struggled with their command over the weekend. He will have even a more valuable role for this team.
Cruz is on his horse and makes a fine running catch before slamming into the bullpen wall in foul territory. Cruz got a terrific jump and ran that one down in the sunshine, a step and a half before plowing into the wall.
Boy, fortunately for LSU fans, Cruz is okay because he ran into that wall at almost full speed.
Here's Michael Sandel. He'll be followed by Ethan Wilson. And you see the rest of the order. That breaking pitch stays upstairs. Sandel hitting .287. He's driven in 13. His 25 hits actually lead the team. He's had a couple of home runs. This senior out of Florida. Helmers, a fluid right-hander, delivers, and that's slashed foul, a bit of a late cut from Michael Sandel.
That gives you a little idea of what Helmers is working with tonight. Sandel had a 2-0 count, and Helmers threw him the obligatory 2-0 fastball, and he was tardy on it. So good stuff early from the freshman.
Another heater, and that's high in the zone, and a swing and a miss. So Helmers has come back with a pair of 91-mile-an-hour fastballs after falling behind 2-0. The 2-2 pitch. Just off the mark. James Ainsworth is calling balls and strikes. Myron Miller at first base. Eddie Newsom at second base. Jeff Beeman down at third.
There's the 2-2 fastball, just a little downstairs. Not a bad miss spot.
And perhaps a little wide as well. That ball had a lot of movement, trying to leak back over the plate, but didn't quite make it. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Tissue has fouled out to Cruz, who made a really fine running catch in the right field corner at foul ground. This is lifted up in the sunshine. The second baseman backing up, and the catch made by Zach Arnold. Let's check LSU defensively. Will Safford in center field is flanked by Gavin Dugas and Dylan Cruz. Doty and Morgan are on the corners. Thompson is the shortstop, and Arnold is the second baseman. Left-handed batter Ethan Wilson steps in. As Ronnie mentioned earlier, he is starting to find his stride offensively. 24 base hits, that's second on the club. And this is a guy who can do some damage in a hurry with the pipe in his hand.
Now, Ethan Wilson is the only starter, regular starter, batting over 300 in the lineup. I know their number 9 hitter today, Carter Sanford's hitting 333, but he's only got 6 at-bats on the season. So this is one of the few dangerous hitters that South Alabama has in Mark Calvey's lineup.
That's a strike on the inner part of the plate. LSU leads the nation in home runs with 42, but interestingly enough, Ronnie, among the starters today in this game, they have accounted for 17 home runs, and so has South Alabama. So South Alabama is a team that doesn't hit a lot of home runs, but both starting lineups today have 17 combined home runs. 2-2 pitch. A late cut, and that one sliced out of play off to the left side.
You mentioned how South Alabama, Lynn, has won 5 in a row. They swept Northwestern State up in Natchitoches over the weekend, and then before that took the last 2 of the series at UT Arlington. In those 5 victories, Ethan Wilson has 8 hits.
Helmers with the concise windup, misses high and outside. That looked like a bit of a changeup. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Helmers trying to make the let's get back to the dugout pitch. We will do it again at 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Bill Helmers just always earns his meal money by just pounding the strike zone, nice and easy, fluid motion.
That time he misses low and away on the 3-2 delivery, and a rare walk from Helmers.
I think it probably also, when Alan Dunn talked to Will Helmers before the game and you go through their lineup and you come up with a game plan, clearly Ethan Wilson is a guy that, you're going to pitch a little bit more careful to. And that time maybe Helmers had that in the back of his mind and nibbled just a little too much on that 3-2 pitch.
Here's the right fielder, Caleb Balgard, hitting .256. He's got a team-leading 5 homers along with Wilson. LSU puts the shift on and did it late with the second baseman, Zach Arnold, moving just ahead of the pitch. He's on the shortstop side of second base. So 3 infielders between third and second. The outfield is deep and pretty much straight away. This is popped up right side. Trey Morgan says he'll take it. And he does. So a two-out walk, but no damage done as Balgard pops up to the first baseman. We go to the bottom of the first inning on a gorgeous night in Baton Rouge. South Alabama nothing. LSU coming to the plate.
The Harry's razor is not the same. Because some of us are not the same. Our close shave comes from our 5 German-engineered blades, designed to start sharp and stay sharp. And we never upcharge you for high quality. So for those of us who don't want just the same, Harry's razors are here. Harry's, not the same. Available in-store and at harrys.com.
Delicious avocado toast for all. Now at Dunkin'. Order ahead plus earn rewards. America runs on Dunkin'.
Smile Direct Club.
These are Smile Direct Club aligners. They're laser cut for comfort to gently straighten teeth under a doctor's direction. They can turn a smile like this into a smile like this in as little as 4 to 6 months for less than $3 a day. So choose comfortable. Choose fast. Choose affordable. Choose Smile. Get started for free at SmileDirectClub.com.
LSU coming to the plate against Tyler Learman. He's got some nice numbers. A left-hander, a senior out of Tallahassee, Florida. 1-1 record with a 3.71 ERA, 26 2/3 innings, 22 strikeouts, 14 walks. That's been a bit of a problem. And he has allowed 17 hits, Ronnie, so he has not allowed people to get on base via the base hit very often in those 26 2/3 innings.
Yeah, like a lot of left-handed pitchers, he's probably just been his own worst enemy with those 14 walks. And so if he can command that, the numbers are going to be sensational. Talking to Mark Calvi before the game, he'll be on about a 50-pitch limit. So whatever that kind of gets you, maybe you can squeeze 3 out of Learman tonight, but that would be about the most he would go.
Here's the batting order for LSU. Trey Morgan at the top, hitting .337. Dylan Cruz leads the team at .379. Dugas at .301. Doty at .324. Zach Arnold is up to .306. Those are the 300 hitters in the lineup for Coach Paul Maneri. Morgan had a really nice weekend against Tennessee. In the 10 games prior to that, Ronnie, he had slumped with a 9 for 40 performance, hitting .225 in the previous 10 games. But the last couple of games, 6 out of 10. And so hence that average zoomed back up over 300. And of course he got off to a really nice start offensively along with fellow freshman Dylan Cruz. Morgan chokes up about 1.5 inches. He looks at that one sweep wide.
See Learman falling behind quickly to Morgan. 3 balls and no strikes.
And Morgan draws a 4-pitch pass. So we talked about walks being a problem for this lefty, and he immediately issues a base on balls. Let's check the South Alabama defense. Sandel is flanked by Wilson and Balgard. Montiel is the shortstop. Stokes at second base. Tissue and De La Torre are on the corners. Learman is pitching to Powers. This bunt is popped up and hits the ground in foul territory.
Well, Tyler Learman on the mound. His first 3 starts of the year, Lynn, against Southeast Missouri, at Oral Roberts, a common opponent as LSU, and Middle Tennessee were all outstanding. He went 5, 6, and 6 and didn't allow more than 2 runs, and that only happened once in a game. But the last 2 times out, particularly 10 days ago at UT Arlington, he pitched 4 2/3 innings. He gave up 4 earned runs, and he hurt himself with 5 walks in those 4 2/3 innings. You see Trey Morgan kind of has made a home for himself in that leadoff spot in the lineup, and probably a wise choice for Palmineri, who had Dylan Cruz in the lineup the first month or so of the season. It's kind of settled him back now into the 3 spot. But Trey Morgan, the leading base stealer on the team for LSU, which might surprise some people that a first baseman would lead your team in stolen bases, and a very good batter at taking pitches. He's very patient at the plate, exactly what you want for a leadoff batter. So I think he's found a home for a long time there in the leadoff spot.
His on-base percentage, and we're speaking of Morgan, is .456. That's second on the club behind Cruz. Dylan Cruz is on deck. LSU trying to get out in front early here against South Alabama.
Will Safford at the plate, making his second consecutive start. He started Game 3 in center field against Tennessee. Palmineri giving him another chance here at home.
Morgan is taking a huge lead from first base. He has not yet put the wheels in motion, but he is getting about as much as he can at first base. You'll see him take a pretty good lead right there, and he'll stretch it from there. Two balls, 2 strikes. Tyler Learman working to Will Safford after a 4-pitch pass to Morgan.
Will Safford listed as 5'8", 163 pounds. That may be generous.
Morgan jockeying for position, draws a throw. It's kind of fun to watch the cat and mouse game between Morgan and Learman.
Well, it's interesting because Morgan's really just trying to distract him a little bit, because as a runner at first base against a lefty, you're going to steal on first movement. You're not really reading anything. So, but maybe by just kind of moving around a little bit, you might get Learman to worry about you out of the corner of his eye.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Let's check the runner here with a left-handed batter. Not going. And the pitch is fouled out of play. That's a parking lot souvenir. Dylan Cruz, who has a 3-game hitting streak, is on deck. That's high. Back-to-back walks have put 2 Tigers aboard. South Alabama actually has won more against LSU with 25 victories against 18 losses. The last meeting was in 2020. LSU won that one 4-1. They've met 7 times in an NCAA regional. LSU has won 5 of those 7 postseason games. But Ronnie, much of those 25 victories, many of them were fashioned during the national powerhouse days of South Alabama.
South Alabama in the 80s and 90s were always one of the tougher non-Power 5 schools in America.
The infield fly rule is in effect as Cruz likes the first pitch but pops it up to the second baseman, Hunter Stokes. That March 11th, 2020 game, of course, is a significant date because that was the last game. It was played here. It was the last game of the season, not only for LSU, but every other college baseball team, as sports were completely shut down following that date.
I remember that game, and at the time we thought that there was going to be no more fans allowed, and that LSU was going to open that weekend on the road at Ole Miss without fans. That was kind of the plan for about, 48 hours before it got junked to no games at all.
Gavin Dugas at the plate with a 4-game hitting streak. The count is 1 ball, 1 strike. Dugas has a team-leading 27 driven in. He's second on the club, or make it first on the team with, no, second on the club with 6 homers. And he rips this one foul. The wind is blowing out toward left center and center field. It has shifted a little bit since earlier today. Balls were flying out of batting practice with great regularity. In fact, infielders were calling for the ball and it wound up on the warning track. So that wind has settled down a bit though, but still is going to hit anything to help anything to left field or center field. That's ripped over the third baseman's head. It's rolling into the corner. Morgan is around third. He will not draw a throw, and that RBI base hit by Gavin Dugas gives LSU a 1-0 lead.
Boy, Gavin Dugas has kind of really lived up to the preseason hype that Paul Maneri gave him, thinking he was going to have a breakout year. It's a nice piece of hitting. Made an adjustment, right off-speed pitch, but he was able to stay back just a little bit. Pitch before, he pulled it foul. That time stayed back and was able to steer it into fair territory.
He has now hit safely in 5 straight games. Here's Cade Doty with a 3-game hitting streak. LSU leads 1-0 on a pair of walks and a sharp single into the left field corner by Gavin Dugas. Doty hitting .324, 24 base hits, 26 driven in. That's second on the team behind Dugas, who now has 28 runs batted in.
Now they'll get a little mound visit from their pitching coach. Talking about Cade Doty, Lynn, at the plate. You know, you look at all the numbers, and he's having a very good year offensively, but nothing really surprises you. The .324 average, you kind of expect that. Got a lot of doubles, has a number of RBIs, but the 8 home runs is where you go, wow, he leads this team in homers. LSU leads the nation in homers, and Cade Doty is the biggest surprise. Why? I thought going into the season he might hit 8 homers all year, but for him to have 8 homers before we get to April, he's poised to have a monster season.
And remember, he missed 5 games.
Yep.
So this is the 25th game for LSU. It's the 20th game for Cade Doty. He has started 20 games now, but he was on the shelf for 5 games earlier. He's hitting .394 with runners in scoring position. He's got a teammate at second base right now. This is lifted into the left field corner. Let's see if it's playable. And it is not. That's 3 rows up into the bleachers. Safford at second base, Dugas at first after the RBI single. Trey Morgan scored from second on the base hit by Dugas.
Cade Doty, who, look at that, .394 average with runners in scoring position. That is insane.
Doty had 4 base hits. He was 4 for 12 in Knoxville over the weekend. The runners are on the move, and this fly ball is lifted into deep center field. LSU's base runners will have to retreat as Sandel makes the catch, drifting to his right.
Well, Doty put a charge into it. Got a little underneath it, but he hit that ball hard just to the deepest part of the ballpark.
Here's Cade Beloso, who had his second home run of the season in Knoxville. Beloso has been a bit of an offensive enigma this year. He's had 2 really nice campaigns, but right now hitting .218 with just a couple of home runs. He was in double-digit home run territory as a freshman a couple of seasons ago.
Yeah, Beloso is truly the missing key to this lineup, you know, to really take off. Cade Beloso's got to have a big year.
2 outs, 2 on, a run in for the Tigers. That's a little bit wide. from the lefty Tyler Learman.
Beloso, his freshman season, hit 279. Last year, average went all the way up to 313. And currently only hit 218 on the season.
He is played as a pull hitter, and that's why there are 3 infielders between second base and first base. There you see the defensive lineup. It's interesting to me, Ronnie, and we're seeing it more and more, where the infield is radically shifted, but the outfield is straight away, maybe even a step or two the other way.
That is strange. And they've got all the data. Yes, he did, says the home plate umpire.
So Beloso is called out on a check swing, and that ends the inning. But the Tigers take advantage of a couple of walks, and Gavin Dugas with an RBI single to left field gets the first run knocked in. You see Beloso committing on the third strike. We move on. LSU 1-0 over South Alabama.
Does your vitamin C last 24 hours? Only Nature's Bounty does. New Immune 24-Hour Plus has longer-lasting vitamin C, plus herbal and other immune superstars. Only from Nature's Bounty.
Georgia, 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 the whole day through.
If you're going to make history, it's time to start making it.
A couple of walks led to a run in the bottom of the first for LSU. And with Trey Morgan at second base, Gavin Dugas delivered a crisp base hit. The Tigers lead 1-0. Will Helmers, making his fourth start, finds the strike zone on the opening pitch here in the second inning.
LSU will take it, Lynn, that the one run in the bottom of the first, but they left an opportunity for a big inning. I mean, first 2 batters reach base. You got first and second, no outs. Usually you're looking at a crooked number.
Cade Doty takes the big hop, throws it high over to the Wizard at first base. Trey Morgan completes the play for the out. So Reed Powers bounces out to third.
At the plate for the Jaguars, second baseman, number 22.
You see Cade Doty right there looking at that little cheat sheet that's in his back pocket that tells him who's coming up and how they're going to pitch him, where you're supposed to position yourself on the infield. It's
Hunter
amazing
Stokes at the plate.
Amazing the information that they have these days.
You know what, though? It still gets down to throwing strikes, putting the ball in play, and driving in runners when you get the chance.
Back in the day, Skip would just kind of lean over and tell tell Johnson to move over 2 steps, and then Smoke would relay it. Hey, Tookie, I need you 2 to the right. I mean, that was it. There was no sheet. It was just yelling from the dugout where to stand.
And I'll be darned if the next pitch weren't grounded right to where Tookie Johnson moved, right?
You'd be surprised how many times the Skip Bertman preparation paid off.
My understanding is that ESPN will be releasing in a few weeks a documentary on Skip Bertman.
That's right. It'll be on the SEC Network, and we found out today it's going to air May 24th. So mark it on your calendar, May 24th, an hour-long documentary about Skip Bertman's life.
Isn't that very near his birthday?
It's the day after his 82nd birthday, May 23rd.
The 3-2 pitch, called strike 3, a burner over the outside edge. I know it's not hard for you to remember Skip's birthday.
Yeah, it happens to be the same day as my birthday, and you can understand why Hunter Stokes, the second baseman for South Alabama, might have thought that was a little outside. Definitely a pitcher zone tonight.
Elmers levels the count with that outside delivery. 1 ball, 1 strike. Santi Montiel at the plate. Elmers issued a rare walk in the first inning, but he has thrown a lot of strikes. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Grounded toward the right side, and a routine play ends the inning. So, Elmers with quick work here in the second. Montiel grounds out to Zach Arnold, and we move on with LSU out in front 1-0, headed to the bottom of the inning.
This year, we're all just trying to stay afloat. Easy setup makes small business life a little smoother.
Taco Bell's quesalupa is back with its cheese stuffed shell. Woo! But there's nothing worse than overhype.
Here it is.
So we'll skip the speeches and the influencers.
Hello?
Cut the fanfare.
Man.
And the pyro.
Man.
So don't hold on to your seats. We're just here to tell you the quesalupa's cheese stuffed shell is back, and we think you'll like it.
We're for those who love to discover, who know an open mind is the only kind, who don't need to travel to find something new, who know where to escape, even just for a moment, who don't need a fortune to find a gem, and who know when you spend less, you can discover even more and never, ever stop discovering. Spend less, discover more at TJ Maxx and Marshalls.
Does your vitamin C last 24 hours? Only Nature's Bounty does. New Immune 24-Hour Plus has longer-lasting vitamin C, plus herbal and other immune superstars. Only from Nature's Bounty.
Seating capacity here at this ballpark is 10,326. Of course, there is an allotment of about half of that right now. Foul line's 330 feet from the plate, 365 to the power alleys, 405 feet to straightaway center field. And that yellow line you see at the top of the outfield fence is 10 feet from the playing surface. Zach Arnold fouls that one back against the catcher. Arnold is hitting .306. This is his 17th start. Ooh, right in the headgear of Reed Powers.
Good for LSU fans to see Zach Arnold's average up over 300. For a while, he hovered around 340 or so the first couple of weeks of the season. Then it dipped down around 250, and now it's climbed back up to 300. And I think, for LSU to kind of be what they want to be, and offensively, he's got to be in that lineup. He's a very versatile player. He can play shortstop for you. He's playing second base as well. They could probably even play him at third. He's play any of the infield spots.
Balgard almost got fooled by that fly ball, but he was able to recover and make the catch.
Watch right here. The wind kind of messed with him just a little bit. There's a lot more wind, I think, up there than what he realized.
Hayden Travinski at the plate now, getting the start for the Tigers with one out in the bottom of the second. Travinski takes a whack at it and was a bit tardy, hitting .269, couple of homers, driven in 7. 3 of his 7 hits have been extra base hits. He is making his 5th start. He's playing in his 20th game.
Travinsky is definitely fun to watch. You get your money's worth when he steps in the box because it's all or nothing. He doesn't get cheated. He's swinging for the downs every time.
He was 0 for 3 in Knoxville. That was a bit of an off-speed pitch, and Travinsky couldn't find it.
You know, that's going to be the adjustment for him to take himself to the next level to play more often. Is just got to hit that off-speed a little more often. Because he's sitting dead red, and he when you make a mistake, he'll run it off the scoreboard. But when other teams see that, they're going to pull the string all day against him.
The outfield is deep and straight away. The 3-2 pitch. Off the mark, Travinsky earns a walk. That's the 3rd of the night by Tyler Learman.
I think Learman kind of got a little intimidated at that time by Travinsky. He had the count 2-2, and then he just, again, went back off speed. Just didn't want to throw it in there. But when you get 3-2 with nobody on base, you got to challenge the hitter.
There is a left-hander and a right-hander loosening up for South Alabama. Jordan Thompson comes to the plate, hitting .259. 5 of his 21 hits have been home runs. Ball 1.
How about that play that Jordan Thompson made defensively in Game 3 at Tennessee in extra innings? Now, they ended up losing in that LSU did. They gave up the winning run that inning, but he saved a base hit on a laid-out play in the 5-hole, dove, caught it, got up, and made a bang-bang throw at first.
And that's what was so frustrating about the weekend in Knoxville. When the Tigers hit well, they didn't pitch good enough. When they pitched well, they didn't hit well enough. There were way too many walks by people up and down the staff. And it just seemed that every time LSU put itself in a position to win a game or take the lead, they just couldn't make it happen.
There are a lot of positives for LSU over the weekend.
Sandel doesn't have to move much in straightaway center field.
And the biggest being offensively, they broke out a little bit from the slump they were in the weekend before against Mississippi State. They out-hit Tennessee in all 3 games, and they got 2 quality starts out of Lavis and Marceau. They both had quality outings. It was just, as a staff, they walked too many guys.
19 walks in that 3-game series by LSU's pitchers.
The LSU struck out 30, walked 19. How about this? Tennessee struck out 38 LSU batters and only walked 6.
Yeah.
That's a tremendous disparity there.
I don't think I've ever seen a shorter lead at first base than the one Travinsky has. 1 step, that's it. That's not even the 6-foot social distance rule.
Yeah, he's not taking off at all. You might as well do like the little leaguers and just keep 1 foot on the bag. Trey Morgan at the plate, the pride of Brother Martin High School, maybe the best Brother Martin freshman since Blair Barbier, 1997.
I was about to say
freshman All-American.
But I'm glad you helped me out. 1997, my goodness, almost a quarter of a century ago. Morgan drew a walk in the first on 4 pitches. He's got a 3-1 count right now. He is played as an opposite field hitter by the outfield. Learman checks the runner. Well, Morgan promptly draws his 2nd walk. Ronnie, he's seen 9 pitches and 8 of them have been out of the strike zone.
That's what he does. He's a super patient hitter. Nolan King told me that before the season, before we ever saw Trey Morgan. He said his patience in the scrimmages is incredible. How he just takes pitches and waits to get a good one.
That's 4 walks already by the left-hander Tyler Learman. Here's Safford, who walked in the first. A breaking pitch for a strike.
Will Safford with limited at-bats this year. Went to U High. Played for head coach Justin Morgan, who was a heck of a catcher in his back of the day for the Raging Cajuns.
Safford making only his 3rd start.
Safford was an infielder, played shortstop. And they're kind of letting him get an opportunity to play some center field. So there's a learning curve still on how to play that position. But he's super athletic, one of the fastest runners on this LSU team.
He's looking for his first base hit this year with runners in scoring position. He's 0 for 7 in limited at-bats. Travinski at second base, Morgan on first. Learman thought that pitch was over.
See this take by Safford. Off the plate a little bit. I think you could see the catcher set up outside. It was an excellent 1-2 pitch.
I thought it was a strike. Two outs, 2 on. Learman is muttering. The runners will be moving. 2 outs and a full count. As so often happens on a 3-2 pitch, it's fouled away. It looks like that this baseball game will be played in good weather tonight. There was a chance of rain tonight. It's probably coming tomorrow. But right now, very few clouds, and what we have are high clouds for the most part.
Definitely a hitter's win for sure. It's hot, humid, and the wind blowing out to dead center.
This will be pitch number 8 from Learman to Will Safford. And there will be a 9th. We are delighted to be coming into your living rooms tonight from Baton Rouge, Louisiana on the SEC ESPN network. Vanderbilt comes here for a Thursday, Friday, Saturday series. All those games will be televised. We will be with you on Thursday and Saturday. The network will have it on Friday. And if you like good pitching, get set for it between LSU and Vanderbilt in the next SEC series. The 3-2 pitch. It hit him and the bases are loaded.
It's a very good at-bat by Will Safford. Took a really close 1-2 pitch, worked it all the way back, fouled off a couple, and then ended up reaching base for the second time in 2 plate appearances tonight.
Dylan Cruz comes to the plate for the second time. He was first pitch swinging in the first and popped it up to the second baseman. There's a tiger on every base for Cruz. A breaking pitch, misses low and inside. 7 homers for Cruz, but he's only driven in 10 runs. Most of those homers coming when he was the leadoff batter. He's 1 for 1 this year with the bases loaded. That's a very good pitch, low and away on the corner to Cruz.
That's the best pitch probably that Lehrman has thrown tonight. It was an 81-mile-an-hour changeup down and away. This is a unhittable pitch. It's either a strike or a ball, but as a hitter, there's nothing you can do with it.
Cruz lets that one pass. 2 balls and a strike.
That one was pretty darn good as well.
Travinsky, Morgan, and Safford aboard. Cruz nubs it back toward the mound, and the pitcher falls down as he tried to spin and decide where to throw it. A break for the Tigers on what should have been a 3rd out. But instead, the inning continues as Lehrman lost his footing.
Watch right here. I think he actually forgot how many outs there were. He didn't lose. He lost his footing all right, but he was thinking about going to second with it, and then realized, wait a minute, there's 2 outs. And then when he tried to turn and throw to first, he slipped.
Well, that's been ruled a base hit.
That's been ruled a hit, huh? Wow.
I think I would have done fielder's choice.
I think FC is the way to go on that one.
I thought for a moment he was just going to throw it to the plate to get the force. And then he kind of looked towards second, and meanwhile his ankle's buckled. And the Tigers will try to inflict some more damage here.
Yeah, that was just a simple case. Sometimes that happens. You just get a little foggy brain action, and he just lost track of how many outs there were.
2 balls, no strikes on a dangerous hitter in Gavin Dugas.
I'll tell you a situation we were in the Superdome in 1992 at the SEC tournament. I had a runner at first late in the game, 7th or 8th inning, and I actually threw from the windup.
Oh, my.
And as I was in the middle of the windup, I looked and saw the guy going to second. I yelled an expletive, somehow threw a strike, amazingly. And but, I mean, luckily that mistake didn't cost us. We won the game, but sometimes every once in a while it happens and you kind of lose track.
South Alabama is going to make a pitching change right here. Tyler Trussell has come from the bullpen. We will step aside. LSU leading 2-0 and a chance to get some more with the bases loaded and 2 outs.
When heartburn takes you by surprise, fight back fast with new Tums Naturals, free from artificial flavors and dyes.
Does scrubbing grease feel like a workout? Scrub less with Dawn Ultra. Its superior grease cleaning formula gets to work faster, making easy work of tough messes. Dawn is a go-to grease cleaner throughout the kitchen, too. Keep a bottle in the laundry room to pre-treat greasy stains. And keep Dawn in the garage to lift grease off car rims. It's even gentle enough to clean wildlife affected by oil. Dawn's grease cleaning power takes care of tough grease wherever it shows up. Scrub less, save more with Dawn.
This young man on the mound right now, Tyler Trussell, is a biomedical sciences major. He's a senior from Clinton, Mississippi, just out of Jackson. And he is the first reliever of the night. He's only worked an inning and 2/3 this year. He's allowed a hit, struck out a couple, walked 1. And so very limited action to this point for Tyler Trussell, his 3rd appearance.
Yeah, pitched a 1/3 of an inning and struck out a batter against Southeast Missouri on February 20th, and then on March 12th pitched 1 1/3 against Jacksonville State. That's been it. We'll see a number of different pitchers tonight for South Alabama. You see Mark Calvey right there. He knows something about pitching. He was the pitching coach for a national championship team at South Carolina. Spent some seasons over there with Ray Tanner. Did a great job helping build that program to where it became a monster about 10 years ago. And then before that was at FIU down in the Sunshine State.
Trussell inherits a 2-ball, no strike count. Gavin Dugas at the plate. With 1 out, Travinski walked. With 2 outs, Morgan walked. Safford was hit by a pitch. Dylan Cruz reached on a tapper between the plate and the mound, and that scored a run. And now it's 3 balls and a strike to Dugas. The bases are loaded with Morgan, Safford, and Cruz aboard. There is some speed on the base paths. Nobody will need it here. A stroll will be plenty. That walk is credited to Learman.
Well, you like that? You're sitting over there on the bench, and they put a walk in your column. I mean, that's when you know you're having a tough year.
But he did issue the first 2 pitches out of the strike zone. Sure. So here's Cade Doty. He has reached base in 17 consecutive games.
Ooh.
He lines one into center field. It's down in front of the center fielder. Tigers are running wild on the base paths. The relay throw. Safe at the plate. Well, a lot of action there. LSU scores everybody as Doty winds up at second base.
Boy, Doty again hits this ball right on the nose. This time got a little bit more on top of it, but hit it out to center. And I'll tell you, Lynn, I think Michael Sandel, the center fielder, is playing way deep as well as this ball was hit. Look how deep he is. Didn't even get a glove on it. I mean, it one-hopped him. And I don't know why he felt the need to play so deep. But it benefited LSU, and it's a bang-bang play at the plate and a fantastic slide by Dugas.
So LSU gets 5 in the inning, the latest 3 on the bases clearing double by Cade Doty. And here's Peloso, who struck out on a check swing last time, and he takes a first pitch strike. All 6 runs are charged to the starter, Tyler Learman. Peloso smashes it just inside the line as it rolls down into the right field corner. Another run scores, and Peloso winds up at second base with a ringing double just inside the stripe beyond first base.
It's got to feel good for Cade Peloso, who hasn't had many of those bullets find the green grass this year. They've kind of been a lot of atom balls, but this one hugs the bag, rolls around down there in the bullpen, and had an easy double.
That's his 4th double of the season. He did not need to slide.
I just wanted to stop his momentum, Lynn. He had big fella had a lot of momentum going into second base. It just needed something to slow him down.
Well, Zach Arnold comes back to the plate. LSU has batted around, scoring 6 times in the second. Most of the damage coming with 2 outs. In fact, all of it. Seven runs, 4 hits for the Tigers. Third baseman Cameron Tissue turns it into an out. But LSU scores big in the inning, including this base hit by Cade Peloso, which drives in a run. 6 in the second. The third inning is straight ahead on the SEC ESPN network. The Tigers lead 7-0.
How do you top the perfect cup of Dunkin' Cold Brew? With the perfect top of sweet cold foam. Sip into a smooth Dunkin' Chocolate Stout Cold Brew topped with sweet cold foam. Order ahead on the app. America runs on Dunkin'.
Is it Luka Magic time or time for Cardiac Kimball? Is it MVP time or time to step up? It's NBA on ESPN time. Mavs Celtics, Bucks Lakers on ESPN.
Old ideas, that's it. Calling anyone with grit. Change this, change that, but don't ever quit. Yesterday's thinking is done. From a challenge, we never run, so keep pushing forward toward a better world for everyone. The future isn't decided yet. It's up to us to make it happen. Make a different future. Start different at GoDaddy.com.
All right, bring it in.
What's going on?
We're letting him go.
The Ducks don't deserve you. Let's start our own team. I've never coached before, but let's just have fun.
Heads up! Boomerang! Ow!
That's one way to do it.
This isn't what I pictured and not where I thought I would be. But I'm trying to do something different here.
This is bigger than hockey. This is about standing up for yourself.
Did you see that? Oh my gosh! Nothing in net! Pretty trans basketball!
We're in the gloaming here in Baton Rouge. LSU leads at 7-0 as we go to the third inning. Paul Maneri has made a pitching change. This is the freshman Blake Money in relief of Will Helmers, who went 2 scoreless innings and did not allow a base hit, walking 1 and striking out 1.
Well, I'm assuming by Helmers being out, that means they have big plans for him this week in their series against Vanderbilt. You see Blake Money, a lot to like about this freshman, making his 8th appearance. 11 2/3 innings, 13 big strikeouts. Has allowed one hit per inning, but I think Blake Money can help them in the back end of their bullpen this year and will have a major role. Who knows? Maybe as a starter or a reliever next season.
Blake Money misses high and away to the first hitter, De La Torre. Caleb De La Torre batting for the first time. Money did not see action over the weekend in Knoxville. Left-handed hitters are only 2 for 18 against Blake Money this year. Money finds the strike zone. 2 balls and a strike. So, Ronnie, he has done really well against southpaw swingers. Can the left fielder get there? Oh, yes! A stretching catch by Gavin Dugas. He took off to his left, giving ground as he did it, and caught it in the webbing of his glove.
Curious to see Dugas' angle here. It may initially off the bat been a little shallow, but boy, did he make up for it. I think he kind of came in, and then he ended up bowing out towards his left and made an unbelievable catch. And if he doesn't catch it, that ball's going to rattle around, might be a triple. Showed great athleticism, Lynn.
Carter Sanford comes to the plate, the DH at the bottom of the order. He's had limited at-bats this year. This is only his second start. He's 2 for 6. Guess what? Both of those hits have been homers.
You know, I was talking to Mark Calvey, the head coach for South Alabama, before the game, and he said that he's like, I'm happy for the young man. I hadn't been playing him. I put him in there on Sunday. He had 2 homers. He says, it also makes me look dumb. why haven't you been playing this guy sooner? And those came in the third game of the series against Northwestern State up at Natchitoches. Carter Sanford getting in the ball game, making his first ever start in college, and all he did is hit 2 homers. He'll remember that the rest of his life.
In at least 2 of those games, South Alabama came from behind late with some power numbers to defeat the Demons. This is lifted out to left field, a much easier catch by Dugas.
Yeah, Dugas saying, is that all you got? I mean, challenged me a little bit.
Back to the top of the order we go for Cameron Tissue. He fouled out to Cruz, who made a really nice running catch. A step and a half at full speed before slamming into the wall down in the right field corner. Will Helmers pitched the first 2 innings. It's Blake Money here in the third.
You know, they call him, Blake Money. They call him Easy Money, Big Money. But I'm hoping his younger brother, Cash Money, ends up a Tiger one day down the road. That would be fantastic.
Now, Blake Money has taken off his spectacles from earlier. When he came out in this inning, he had the glasses on.
Did he really? I thought so. I wonder if maybe they fell off or something cracked.
Where did he put them? Well, he's seeing okay now. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The bases are empty. LSU got 1 in the first and then rallied with 6 in the second. There is no play. That's a foul ball, skipping past third.
They're not even using midnight signals back there, Lynn. It's almost like he doesn't necessarily need it. Because if you were wearing glasses that were prescription and you don't have them on, you took him off in the middle of the inning, the catcher would probably have to go to some sort of night signal, but instead, Travinsky's using traditional fingers.
Money finds the strike zone and leaves Tissue at the plate. A called third strike. Tiger pitchers have retired 7 in a row, and we move on. LSU is out to a 7-0 lead with the bottom of the third coming your way next.
I guess I'm here because a good friend told me that talking could help. So I figured I'd give it a try.
All right, bring it in.
What's going on?
We're letting him go.
The Ducks don't deserve you. Let's start our own team. I've never coached before, but let's just have fun.
Heads up! Boomerang! Ow!
That's one way to do it.
This isn't what I pictured, and not where I thought I would be. But I'm trying to do something different here.
This is bigger than hockey. This is about standing up for yourself.
Did you see that? Oh my gosh! Nothing in net! Pretty trans basketball!
Let's get you caught up on the SEC Weekly Awards. Matt Goodhart from Arkansas hit home runs in 4 straight games last week. He is the player of the week. Co-pitchers of the week, Sean Hunley and Jack Leiter. How about Leiter now? He worked a 9-inning no-hitter in the start before the one against Missouri. He worked 7 innings of no-hit baseball against Missouri. 16 straight innings of no-hit baseball turned in by the Vanderbilt ace, Jack Leiter. And the freshman of the week, T.J. McCants of Ole Miss. Hit a home run, a double, drove in 3, scored 5 times.
And we'll see Jack Leiter here at Alec Box Stadium on Friday. And the only reason they didn't let him go longer, because he had 7 no-hit innings, is because they were concerned about a pitch count. He had thrown over 120 pitches the week before in that 9-inning no-hitter against South Carolina. They were on a short week, 1 less day, playing Thursday, Friday, Saturday this weekend in Baton Rouge. And so they, out of precaution, they pulled him from the game.
By the way, that special matchup with Leiter on Friday will be available on ESPN2. Tom Hart and Ben McDonald will be bringing you that action on Friday. We will have the first game of the series right here on the SEC ESPN network at 6:30 Thursday. ESPN2 will carry the Friday game. And then Saturday at 2 o'clock start right back here on the SEC ESPN network.
Well, I'm excited for Thursday's game. It'll be Rocker versus Marceau. And, Marceau's been fantastic for LSU this year. Rocker was, might be a top pick in the draft overall. I mean, so you're going to see something special. Hits will be at a premium on Thursday night.
And you and I will be teamed on that game. I can't wait. This whole series with Vanderbilt extra special, and of course LSU trying to capture at least 2 out of 3 against the number 1 ranked team this week, Vanderbilt.
If LSU can somehow kind of right the ship and play their best baseball of the season this weekend at home in front of a big crowd, they're hoping that the attendance numbers might get a little bit up just a tick with some of the restrictions that were loosened today by the governor's office. You could almost turn around your season if LSU somehow pulls out a victory and wins 2 out of 3 against Vandy this weekend.
Meanwhile, this South Alabama pitching staff continues to have trouble throwing strikes. 6 walks and a hit batter have contributed mightily to the LSU run total of 7. Travinsky at first base. Here's Jordan Thompson. Check swing strike. Trussell came on in the 2nd inning. He walked a batter, then gave up back-to-back doubles before retiring Arnold. The 2-1 pitch, high and tight. Well, that wind has picked up a little bit and now is blowing more toward left field and left center. Earlier, it was blowing more toward center field. There you see the flags. Jordan Thompson takes it tight. Back-to-back walks, and they have been very frequent in the first 3 innings from this South Alabama staff. That's walk number 7.
Well, that's a ton already, and that'll frustrate the heck out of their head coach because he is, really the main pitching coach. That's what he does, and he knows that you just can't overcome 7 walks. Mark Calvert's been around a long time, been very successful, and right now his pitching staff is just struggling to throw it over the 18-inch white part.
Morgan has walked twice and scored twice. Ball 1. Five of LSU's 7 runs have come with the runners who scored those 5 having walked or been hit by a pitch. There's a strike. It levels the count at 1 each.
That was an excellent pitch that time by Trussell, a little backdoor slider, and a good take by Morgan. I mean, that's not what you're looking for. 1-0 is a backdoor slider.
Travinsky and Thompson are aboard.
See how Morgan chokes up off that bat. A lot of times you'll see guys do that with 2 strikes. He does it right from jump. Allows him to control the barrel a little bit more.
Three and 1 on LSU's rookie leadoff batter, Trey Morgan.
See if Trussell comes right at him. He's got nowhere really to put him. I mean, first and second are occupied.
Tyler Perez is warming up in the bullpen.
Morgan's been on fire of late. Going to get a good pitch here.
He walks for the third time. So he has seen 12 balls against only 2 strikes in 3 at-bats. The bases are loaded with nobody out, and they are loaded as a result of 3 walks, and that's going to be it for Tyler Trussell. So Perez, another Tyler, comes out of the bullpen, and we will take a timeout right here. LSU leading 7-0 over South Alabama.
Spring is finally here, and you're just itching to upgrade your stuff. The best way to do that is in a new Hyundai, like the Santa Fe with an available class-exclusive digital smartphone key and loads of the latest technology. Drive your upgrade home instead of having it delivered, although we can do that too during the Hyundai Spring Upgrade event.
Get 0% APR for 60 months on select vehicles, plus 0 payments for 90 days. Hurry, sale ends soon.
Curve your shot to hit opponents.
Soon.
Curve your shot to hit opponents hiding behind cover with the all-new Nerf Rival Curve Shot.
It's time.
Are they a championship team?
They could possibly win it all.
And time is running out to start a run. To make your move. If you're going to make history, it's time to start making it.
This is the third Tyler to pitch tonight for South Alabama. Tyler Perez, a senior out of Miami. An ERA of 3, no record, his 5th appearance. He's allowed 2 hits in 6 innings, walked 3, struck out 3. And he inherits a bases-loaded situation.
And by the way, he may not be the last Tyler we see tonight. They do have another Tyler down in the South Alabama bullpen. Tyler Samanigo. And this Tyler Perez has only had 1 appearance this year, March the 16th, against the Golden Eagles of Southern Miss. He entered the game. Now there's no numbers listed, but he somehow entered the game. I'm curious. There's no hits, no anything, so maybe it was a substitution of the runner or a defensive pitcher or something.
Sure. Well, here's Safford. He's been walked. He's been hit by a pitch. He has scored a run. He's got the bases loaded. He's late on that swing. Will Safford out of nearby University High School in Baton Rouge.
And when you say nearby, you mean about 400 feet to the left of home plate. That's their home baseball field. Matter of fact, sometimes when practice is over here, depending on if he's working center field or second base, he'll go take extra over on his old high school field. He knows where the keys are.
There's a mid-popper for a strike. South Alabama this year, when it out-hits opponents, is 8-0, 3-5 when getting out-hit. And when the hits are even, South Alabama is 2-4. Right now, LSU has 4 hits. South Alabama has none. Safford goes after an elevated pitch and cannot make contact with the bases loaded.
It's actually a pretty good pitch by Perez. This is a 1-ball, 2-strike count. This is an excellent fastball, 90 miles an hour. That's where you want to throw it. Out of the zone, 1-2. And Safford chased it, but it was just above the strike zone, but too close to take.
The bases remain loaded with 1 out. The infield is at double play depth. Cruz runs well. He has reached on an infield hit. He has popped up to the second baseman. 1 ball, no strikes. A walk to Travinsky, a walk to Thompson, a walk to Morgan. Safford struck out. The 1-0 to Cruz. Steve, right. Cruz lifts this one out of play.
You know, it's strange. As great of a season that Dylan Cruz is having statistically, he doesn't have a good batting average with runners in scoring position. Although, if you were to ask Paul Maneri who he'd want at the plate with the game on the line, he'd probably say Dylan Cruz.
He's hitting 158 with runners in scoring position. That's nubbed to the right side. The pitcher will make the play at first base. A run scores. So Cruz drives in his second run of the game on a chopper to the first base side. A 1-3 put out. Travinsky scored. Thompson moved to third. Morgan is at second base. And Gavin Dugas with 2 outs can add to his RBI total. He's driven in 2 tonight. He had an RBI single in the first. He walked with the bases loaded, and he's hit by a pitch.
Here's Dugas taking that breaking ball. First pitch, he steps into it, and all he can do is put his wallet in the way of it. You know, as much as Dylan Cruz has struggled with runners in scoring position, Cade Doty has been a beast this year with runners on base.
He has flied to center, and he had a 3-run double in the second. This one is hit hard and out of sight, but yanked foul. To illustrate your point, Ronnie, Doty is hitting 400 with runners in scoring position. He's got Thompson at third, Morgan at second, and Dugas at first. A screamer out to left, and it's caught by the left fielder, Ethan Wilson. He was playing deep. He had to back up a few steps and caught that frozen rope. But LSU adds to its total with 1 in the third. It's 8-0 Tigers.
I guess I'm here because a good friend told me that talking could help. So I figured I'd give it a try.
It's in our blood. It's in our blood. We can't quit because it's in our blood.
It's time, and time is running out. If you're going to make history, it's time to start making it.
The Bundesliga. Leipzig.
It's a rivalry that's growing by the minute.
Bayern.
As first place Bayern take on second place Leipzig.
Saturday, Leipzig, Bayern on ESPN2.
It's baseball tonight in Baton Rouge. A beautiful evening for it. Tigers off to a quick start. 1 in the first, 6 in the second, and 1 in the third. And LSU trying to get a win before Vanderbilt comes into town. Big crowd on hand tonight. And the hometown Tigers carry an 8-0 lead into the fourth inning with Blake Money pitching for LSU. in relief of the starter, Will Helmers. Money came on in the third. Got De La Torre to line out on a great catch by the left fielder Gavin Dugas. He retired Sanford on a routine fly ball to left and then struck out Tissue. Michael Sandel batting for the second time. Popped up to the second baseman last time.
See that pitch right there by Blake Money was 91 miles an hour. It's maybe a little out of the strike zone, but it's the tilt. It's that 6-7 frame that the ball comes from. It creates a tremendous angle when he throws it right over the top down into the strike zone.
Safford makes the catch in center field. It's been a while since South Alabama has had a base runner. They've only had one that came on a 2-out walk in the first. Since then, everybody has been retired.
You see Blake Money reach into the back of his pocket, and he grabbed like a little rag that's in the back of his pocket to try to dry his fingers, because a lot of times they don't want to necessarily use the rosin bag.
Shortstop Jordan Thompson turns that into an out.
I think LSU's really settled nicely with their infield. I know, with Doty at third, they moved Thompson to short. I mean, I feel like the left side is pretty set the rest of the year. And I wouldn't be surprised if Zach Arnold kind of takes a stranglehold at that second base bag the rest of the way as the season goes on.
Sandel has flied to center. Wilson grounded out to shortstop. Here's Caleb Balgard, who popped up on the infield to Morgan last time. Three infielders shift to the left side. Money rips one over the outside corner. Doty, Thompson, and Arnold are positioned between third base and second base. The outfield is straight away. Only Morgan is on the right side of the infield defensively. That's elevated. That's the most velocity that Money has generated tonight at 93. The 1-2 pitch from the big right-hander. Helmers and Money have retired 9 straight Jaguars. A call, third strike. Money has struck out a couple. 6 up, 6 down, 9 pitches in the inning, and Money takes care of business. 8-0. The Tigers lead South Alabama.
Elbows back, a tootie-ta, a tootie-ta, a tootie-ta-ta.
Not the best sing-along. At least you can watch it on the best.
Thumbs up, elbows back.
Cox Internet, #1 for streaming video, according to Nielsen data.
What's my safe flight story? My car is more than 4 wheels. It's my after-work decompression zone. So when my windshield broke, I searched for someone who really knew my car. I found the experts at Safelight Auto Glass. With their exclusive technology, they fixed my windshield, then recalibrated the camera attached to my glass, so my safety systems still work. Who knew that was a thing? Safelight has service I can trust.
Safelight repair, Safelight replace. Georgia, Georgia, the whole keeps Georgia on my mind.
LSU has scored in every inning. 6 in the second was the biggest outburst. South Alabama scoreless through 4, hitless through 4. Cade Beloso will start it. He struck out in the first, and then he ripped an RBI double in the second. He is first pitch swinging, and this is out of play.
And Beloso over the weekend up at Knoxville hit an opposite field homer that just was inside the fair pole down the left field line. Only his second homer of the year. Fooled right there on a changeup.
The infield has shifted a bit, although not, well, very radically, I should say, because the third baseman Tissue is actually at a normal shortstop position. That's the shortstop on the first base side of second who made the play. Montiel, the shortstop, getting that one done. Here's Zach Arnold. Arnold is 0 for 2. He has fly to right and grounded to third. And he takes a quick strike.
But Tyler Perez comes at you from a few different angles.
He does.
He'll drop down and give you that almost sidearm pitch like he did right there, and then he'll go back over the top traditional.
Sandel waits for it to come out of the heavens, and Michael Sandel in center field has got it. Tyler Perez, by far, has been the most effective pitcher tonight for South Alabama. He's faced only one batter over the minimum through a couple of innings, essentially. Here's Hayden Travinski. Steve right.
Well, I found the sheet that had Perez's stats on it because one of them it didn't have any statistics, but this is Perez's 5th appearance on the year. Came in with a 3 earned run average.
Travinski has walked twice and he has scored twice. Travinski hits one deep to left field. You can pucker up and kiss that baby goodbye. A line drive into the left field bleachers by Hayden Travinski. That is home run number 3 for the big catcher. And the Tigers add to their lead. It's 9-0 as Travinski lines a laser into the left field bleachers.
Now that's why Paul Maneri has Hayden Travinski in the lineup. The big catcher out of the Shreveport area. He's in there to do this. Stays back, 86 mile an hour fastball out of that 3/4 slot. He went down and got it, and that ball didn't get real high. It was a liner into the bleachers.
So Travinski makes it a 9-0 lead. That's home run number 43 for the Tigers, who lead the country.
Hayden Travinski out of Airline High School, same high school that produced Todd Walker.
Well, in case you're wondering who's next behind LSU in the home run chase nationally, it's Arkansas with 40 going into tonight's play. LSU had 42, Arkansas had 40. Now the Tigers have 43.
Fun to see LSU back at the top when it comes to home runs. It's been a minute. You know, gone are the days of the 188 that they hit back in 1997. 188 homers. I mean, obviously the game's changed, the bat's changed since then. Nobody will ever do that again, but 85 is kind of like a magic number around here. You look at, I think, 91, 93, 85 homers, national championship teams. I believe 09 was somewhere around that same number. So, you know, if you get into that 80-plus range, you're doing something pretty special.
This will carry out to the center fielder who leans toward the infield, and Michael Sandel makes the play. A well-hit ball by Jordan Thompson, but it's turned into an out. This one was not turned into an out. Hayden Travinski lines one into the left field bleachers. On that swing, LSU takes a 9-0 lead.
Ball in, but on a budget. The new $1 Your Way menu at Burger King will help you stack that bread and spend less bacon. So try a flame-grilled bacon cheeseburger, chicken junior, fries, or a drink for just $1 each. So save that bacon and get it on your burger instead, because getting more for your buck at BK just hits different. The new $1 Your Way menu, now at Burger King. Your way, way better.
Every inning has been productive for LSU. 1-6-1-1. 9 runs, 5 hits for the Tigers. And LSU brings on Alex Brady out of the bullpen after 2 very nice innings by Blake Money.
Here's Alex Brady, the lefty. 7th appearance on the year. Paul Manuri likes this young man. 4 2/3 innings, 6 Ks. He's, doesn't throw a whole lot of balls straight. Everything's got a little run, a little tail, a little movement to it. And they're trying to develop a role for Brady, possibly even being just a guy that comes in and gets, 1 or 2 lefties in a row out late in the game.
Will Helmer started. He walked a batter in 2 innings, and that was it. Blake Money was perfect in 2 innings of relief, including a couple of strikeouts. And now it's Alex Brady. Alex has one of the stringier gloves. Reed Powers, the catcher, bounced out to third last time. Steve Wright. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday is the next action for the Tigers. Vanderbilt rolls into town with a national #1 ranking. And a team that's almost unbelievable in pitching statistics. Safford drifting back to his left. He makes the catch 3 steps in front of the warning track.
Nice play by Safford as he's still sort of getting used to playing that position. Been an infielder all his life, and now making that move, which we've seen over the years. Remember, J.C. Holt started off as a second baseman at LSU and then ended up making the move to center field and played AAA baseball with the Braves.
What people don't realize, that J.C. Holt's best season, he was 1 hit away from batting .400. Vanderbilt is playing tonight and leads in Nashville 4-1 over Tennessee Tech. Vanderbilt's staff ERA, Ronnie, it will bring these numbers into Alex Box Stadium this weekend, a 2.19 staff earned run average. And the opposing batting average against Vanderbilt pitchers is 167. Wow. 114 hits allowed in 197 innings. 288 strikeouts. Two balls, two strikes. This one is twisting off into the left field corner, and Gavin Dugas is there. Santi Montiel bounced out to second base last time. South Alabama has had only one base runner. That was a two-out walk to Ethan Wilson in the first.
Brady gives you a little bit of a different look than what you kind of see from a lot of the other pitchers for LSU. Mostly right-handers, mostly 6'5", throwing 90+ miles an hour, and he's the thumber lefty. You know, he's a guy that's going to give you a little funky motion, a little different sidearm, kind of not almost like three-quarter slot. A lot of change-ups, a lot of fastballs that are in the mid-upper 80s that with a lot of run off the plate. If you can command it, there's a role in this bullpen.
Here's the 2-0 pitch. Two outs, nobody on base. LSU with a 9-0 lead. A 6-run second inning has been the best. That's elevated. Montiel, the shortstop, facing Alex Brady. The 3-1 pitch. Popped back, and I don't think there's room for anybody. That one is up on the roof.
You know, Hayden Travinski getting the start behind home plate tonight. Clearly, Paul Maneri wanting to see a little more offense, and of course he's gotten that with the homer, but Travinski's a lot more animated back there. He's always kind of pumping his fist. Look at him, kind of giving some emotion to the pitcher. That's a little different than Malazzo's, a lot more reserved.
That pitch sails wide. Montiel thought about it, but laid off of it, and that's only the second base runner for South Alabama.
It's a good take. That ball definitely ran off the plate.
So a walk in the first with 2 outs and a walk in the fifth with 2 outs. And that has been it in terms of base runners for the Jaguars. Here's De La Torre, who hit a liner into left center field that was tracked down on a fine catch by Gavin Dugas back in the third inning.
Caleb Delator, 6 foot, 205-pound redshirt senior. You see that a lot more these days thanks to COVID. A lot of guys coming back for an extra year. South Alabama has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 red shirt seniors on their team.
A call, third strike. That one got a piece of the outside corner. And a nice inning for Alex Brady. So we move forward as Brady paints the outside edge. A 2-out walk, but nothing more. It's 9-0. LSU leading on the SEC ESPN network.
It's time.
Are they a championship team?
They could possibly win it all.
And time is running out to start a run. To make your move. If you're going to make history, it's time to start making it.
You have Cox Home Life, so you could see what triggered the porch light. But you're not thinking about that. You're thinking about how a little rain won't stop you from sleeping under the stars. You're thinking by this time next year, she'll be at sleepaway camp with Anna and Sophia. You're not thinking about the front porch. Well, maybe just a little. Stay close to the moments that matter. Cox Home Life will help take care of the rest.
LSU leads 9-0 as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. And South Alabama summons its bullpen for the 3rd time. This is Andy Arguelles, a senior, with an 0-2 record and an ERA of about 7.5. Arguelles has allowed 12 hits in 8 1/3 innings. He has struck out 7. He has walked 4. This is his 5th appearance.
Arguelles out of Christopher Columbus High School in Miami, Florida. That's the same high school that Paul Maneri attended. Same high school that Luis Garcia, former LSU baseball player, attended as well. Also, while we have a second, want to send prayers and best wishes to former LSU Tiger Cedric Harris, who, of course, was an integral part of the 2000 National Championship team. Was a starting center fielder back that year. Married Marie Ferdinand, who was a great basketball player at LSU, played in the WNBA. They've got a few kids and live up in Arkansas, and a couple of their sons were in a tragic ATV accident about a week and change ago, and one of their sons is in the hospital at the Children's Hospital in Little Rock, Arkansas. That's Cedric Harris Jr. He's a freshman in high school, and he's really battling for his life. And our thoughts and prayers go out to the Harris family. I can't even imagine, Lynn, what they're going through.
Well, indeed, and I remember Cedric Harris as always carrying a smile on that face. Trey Morgan at the plate. He's been aboard 3 times at the top of the order on walks. He has scored twice. South Alabama has been most generous tonight from its pitching staff. There will be no play. The Tigers have turned 5 hits into 9 runs, courtesy of multiple walks and hit batters. Morgan, who doesn't pull the ball very often, sends that one past first base.
LSU with a 9-0 lead through 4 innings, and it could be worse. Tigers have left 6 runners on base and have had many opportunities.
LSU softball playing tonight. That game is over as Trey Morgan goes down on strikes. LSU beat ULM 7-5. Let's watch Morgan here. Breaking pitch, and it dives off the end of the bat.
That's an excellent slider. I mean, that is exactly what you want to do.
7-5, the final at Tiger Park tonight. LSU softball beats ULM. Allie Kilponen was victorious in the circle. Amanda Doyle drove in a couple of runs, and A.J. Andrews had 3 driven in. There's a knock to right and a base hit for Will Safford.
Big thrill for that young man. Ball hits a bullet out to right field. Kind of pulls his hands through. They were able to get the barrel out front because he almost got jammed, but able to fight it off and hit a seed out to right field. That'll make his uncle Brandon Landry happy, one of the founders of Walk-Ons. I wonder if they'll run a promotion at some point when Will Safford plays here at LSU and gets comfortable. Like if he gets 3 hits in a game, you get like free cheese fries or something like that. That'd be pretty cool.
No, it's crawfish for everybody on the house.
Don't get too crazy now. Maybe fried pickles. That might be the best you could probably get.
For Safford, that was his second base hit of the season in very limited duty. Dylan Cruz has driven in a couple of runs. He had an infield RBI single in the second. He had a rollout which produced an RBI in his last at bat, and he popped up to the second baseman back in the first inning. Arguelles to Dylan Cruz. Gavin Dugas is on deck. That will be played by the first baseman. Cruz with a bit of a defensive swing, just chopped it down to the first baseman, De La Torre.
Yeah, I mean, all 4 at bats tonight, Cruz hasn't really had a good swing. He had popped up to center. He had a little excuse me, a ball back to the pitcher, and then he's been jammed really his last 2 times up.
Here's Dugas. He has an RBI single. He walked with the bases loaded, and he was hit by a pitch. Thank you for letting us be part of your evening as we come into your living rooms, your sports bars, your airport waiting areas, on your personal devices. Ronnie Rance, Lynn Rollins with you this evening. It's good to be with you on a nice night for baseball in the one game preceding the Vanderbilt series.
You know what's amazing, Lynn, is that it's a good thing you're at the ballpark doing the games, because if I gave you $100, I don't think you could pull it up on ESPN Plus and find this game. You don't. You've got that flip phone still.
No, I don't.
You know, you can't even. Can you pull up the game on your phone?
Let's just put it like this: I don't have the flip phone.
I rest my case.
You mentioned walk-ons. They've got it on over there, I promise you.
They do. There'll be a good crowd there after the game.
Every suite here in this ballpark has it on. Popped up left side. Montiel, the shortstop, backs up on the grass. He's got it. Dugas is retired, and so are the Tigers for the first time. LSU does not reach the scoreboard, but the lead is comfortable for LSU. 9-0 Tigers.
You ever think Pac-Man gets tired of eating these same little dots? I could get any 2 toppings on my large pizza for just $10. Pepperoni, sausage, bacon, the $10 tastemaker, only from Pizza Hut. I think I'm about to out-pizza the Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
I guess I'm here because a good friend told me that talking could help. So I figured I'd give it a try.
Georgia, Georgia, the whole day through. Just an old sweet song keeps Georgia on my mind.
Welcome back, everyone. It's 9-0. We go to the top of the 6th inning. Trent Vittmeyer has come out of the bullpen for LSU. This was a guy who figured to be part of the regular rotation from the bullpen. He's a quite versatile pitcher, but Ronnie, he's had some health issues. They put him on the back burner a while, but he's pitching tonight.
An opportunity for Trent Vittmeyer to get back in the mix. You see, those are his numbers on the year, 1 2/3. Hasn't worked much this year, but he's been very pivotal the last couple of seasons. A guy who traditionally throws that fastball in the 89 to 91 mile an hour range. But he's got a very good slider. That's his kind of go-to pitch, and a great kind of bulldog mentality. So let's see if Trent Vittmeyer can kind of show you something, make a move here to earn more playing time.
Vittmeyer cranks it home. That's a high strike. Carter Sanford is making only his second at bat tonight. He flied to left field last time. There's a base hit to right as it skips between Arnold and Morgan. That's the first base hit for South Alabama.
Vittmeyer threw this fastball down and in, but a nice piece of hitting as Sanford turned on it. And how about Sanford? They maybe found something with this young man. He's now 3 for 7 on the season. 3 hits in his last 2 games, and he was sitting on the bench for most of the season.
That's his first non-home run, right?
That's right. 3 hits this year. First 2 were homers.
Vittmeyer throws a strike to the leadoff batter, Cameron Tissue, who has fouled out to Cruz, who made a really nice running catch as he slammed into the wall in foul ground, and then he struck out in the 3rd. Vittmeyer misses high. Vittmeyer is a guy who does volunteer firefighting in his hometown in Pennsylvania. That's a pretty good heater.
Yeah, 88 miles an hour in that offering. See how he hugs that glove up. It's all about alignment. He's all trying to.
He is the only pitcher I have ever seen who tucks that glove under his jaw like that.
He's trying to.
That's what makes him comfortable.
Yeah, trying to keep that front elbow and shoulder lined up, close to the plate.
And you just hope he shakes off his illness, some health issues that have kept him from being a regular part of the bullpen rotation. He's had some nice moments in his LSU career.
Mm-hmm.
To second for 1, to first, not in time. Thompson and Arnold get the out at second base. The relay to Morgan was just a little bit late.
Thought it was going to be a little 6-4-3. Slow roller. Took a little extra time maybe making that turn right there. Not the smoothest thing in the world, but I think the slowness of the ball in the grass and then the flip was a underhand flip was a long one from Thompson, allowed the runner to get down the line.
Sandel is first pitch swinging and fouls it away. He's 0 for 2. Tissue at first base, reaching on the fielder's choice. Vittmeyer misses low and away. We talked about the number of redshirt seniors who have been given an additional year. It's always a little confusing, though, because you see teams with information that's different. In other words, you'll see one guy listed as a junior, and he's also listed as a sophomore. It depends on whether they use eligibility or actual academic ranking.
Yeah, I guess there hasn't been a uniformity by the NCAA teams to kind of make a decision. Are we going to list players by kind of like forget last year and just leave it out of the way and call, if you were a freshman last year, you're a freshman this year, or a sophomore last year, you're a sophomore this year, because last year doesn't count as far as eligibility goes. But not everybody does it the same, so you see different rosters with different
from the
listings.
same teams. Well, Palmineri is going to make a move here, apparently. And we will have a pitching change. Vittmeyer does his job. So the Tigers bring on Brandon Kaminer. And we will step aside for a moment. LSU leads comfortably. It's 9-0 in the 6th inning.
I guess I'm here because a good friend told me that talking could help. So I figured I'd give it a try.
It's time.
Are they a championship team?
They could possibly win it all.
And time is running out to start a run, to make your move. If you're going to make history, it's time to start making it.
Brandon Kaminer, a senior from Coral Springs, Florida, comes on in relief of Trent Vittmeyer, who replaced Alex Brady, who replaced Blake Money, who replaced Will Helmers.
Now, Kaminer this year, 19.29 ERA, just a very limited action. 2 1/3 innings, gave up 7 hits, trying to fix some of those numbers. And when you only throw 2 1/3 innings, Lynn, you put a couple of zeros on the board for 2 straight innings, those numbers will start to get in line a little bit. In 2020, Kaminer was 3-1 with a 2.84 earned run average in 7 appearances, had 4 starts. So he was, how about that, 3-1, and he only pitched 12 1/3 innings. I mean, that's a lot of
But he was more
decisions.
or less the Will Helmers of last year, right?
Correct. So they really, that's good numbers in 2020. Just gotten off to a slow start this year as they have a tremendous freshman class that has kind of come in and taken a lot of innings away from some of the veterans.
Two outs, a runner at first base. South Alabama is batting in the 6th. Ethan Wilson, the most dangerous South Alabama hitter, Swings and lines one to center field. Safford backing up. It's off the bottom of the wall. Safford falls down on the warning track. South Alabama will get a run out of it. And Ethan Wilson is on his way to third, and he makes it with a headfirst slide, an RBI triple. Scoring Cameron Tissue from first base. That's his second triple of the season.
First pitch Cameron throws. It's an 87-mile-an-hour fastball down and away. Kind of gets up in that stream of wind. Ball was hit on the nose, but it got a little extra boost from the wind blowing out to dead center.
Wilson now has reached base in 13 straight games. And here's Caleb Balgard. He's first pitch swinging. Safford has plenty of time, now backing up, and has to reach behind him to make the catch. South Alabama punches through as it gets a run in the sixth on a two-out triple to center field by Ethan Wilson, scoring a teammate, Tissue, from first base. 9-1 LSU.
It's a rivalry that's growing by the minute. Bayern. As first place Bayern take on second place Leipzig.
Saturday, Leipzig, Bayern on ESPN2.
Across the country, businesses have had to adjust how they operate and make difficult decisions to protect their employees, customers, and communities. While we don't yet fully know where this road will lead, we do know you don't have to walk it alone. When you're ready, Cox Media's team of experts will be here to offer thoughtful perspective on messaging and media planning as your customers are evolving how they watch, read, and connect. We're here to help you navigate this together. Cox Media. Better together.
It's time.
Are they a championship team?
They could possibly win it all.
And time is running out to start a run, to make your move. If you're going to make history, it's time to start making it.
9-1 LSU. South Alabama breaking through in the top of the inning. And Jackson Boyd is the next pitcher for South Alabama out of Melbourne, Australia. Now, not a lot of people know, Ronnie Rance, that you've got a little bit of experience with Australia, right?
Yeah, I went there my freshman year in high school to go play baseball for a junior national team. And actually, this was back in the mid-late 80s, and we faced older teams. Matter of fact, this is how old they were, Lynn. They had a number of guys that would have to put down their cigarette in the on-deck circle to get in the box to face us. Because, I mean, back in Australia, they drink beer in the dugout, smoke cigarettes at like 19, 21 years old. It was a little something different, but had a great time down there.
You fit right in, didn't you?
I played with a few guys in my day at LSU that if Coach Burtman would have let them have a drag in the dugout, they might have. Coach Burtman used to smoke a cigarette in the dugout every once in a while.
Well, a cigar, right?
One time we were playing at Tennessee, and he was smoking a cigar or have a Tampa in the dugout, and the smoke kept going in the stands, and a couple of the fans in the front row were complaining, and they sent an official down to tell him, "Sir, could you please not smoke in the dugout?" That lasted about 10 minutes.
Sure. Jackson Boyd letting it fly to Cade Doty. 1 ball, 1 strike. LSU has scored in every inning except the 5th. Doty flied to center in the first. He had a 3-run double in the second, and then hit a liner out to left field, which was caught in the third. Montiel, the shortstop, backing up. Nobody can get it. That was misplayed a little bit between Montiel, the shortstop. He was calling for it. Sandel was coming on from center field. Neither one of them was able to catch it.
See, Cade Doty was owed this base hit, Lynn, because he's hit the ball so hard tonight. He had a line drive earlier to left that was caught. That was about the hardest hit ball of the day. So, you know, the baseball gods even things out. Those little balls that should have been caught sometimes find their way for base hits.
So Doty is 2 for 4. Here's Cade Beloso, who's 1 for 3. He had an RBI double in the second inning. He also has struck out and grounded to the shortstop. Nobody out, a runner at first base. 1 ball, 1 strike to Cade Doty.
There's been some talk about Beloso at the plate who's DHing. The average hasn't obviously, it's down from where we anticipated and where he's shown to be a career almost 300 hitter at LSU. And there's been some talk of, you know, by not playing in the field, can that be an affecting him? You know, he was started at first base in 2019 and 2020, and now he's not starting out in the field. He's DH only, and so it's possible that could be something psychological, or maybe you're not in the rhythm or the flow the same way you are when you're playing defense. There's an adjustment period to becoming a DH.
Two balls, 2 strikes.
Problem is that Morgan over at first base is, you know, uber talented defensively, and then Dugas, who there was some talk maybe Beloso might play some left field. Dugas has been outstanding defensively in left field and swinging a hot stick.
That's nubbed off the cap of the bat, and the out is recorded at first base. Nicely done by Montiel, the shortstop.
Really nice play by Montiel, because this is a little pool cue shot off the end, and it's got all kind of funky spin on it. And as he's running away from first base, he's able to make a transition and fire a strike. Excellent play to help out your pitcher.
Doty moves to scoring position with 1 out. Zach Arnold comes to the plate. He has flied to right, bounced out to third, and flied to center. Arnold out of California watches that one break out of the zone.
Middle infield for LSU, both starters today from California, and the corner players for the Tigers, both from Louisiana.
South Alabama came in with a 5-game winning streak. This series between LSU and South Alabama began in 1971. The early part of the series was much in favor of South Alabama. Lately, LSU has not had many problems with the Jaguars.
Most famously, South Alabama came in here and was in the driver's seat in the 1993 regional, and LSU had to beat them twice on championship Sunday in order to advance to the College World Series.
This is grounded up the middle. And another nice play by the shortstop for the second out. Montiel covers some ground. He's a slick fielding shortstop. Watch him go get this one.
Back up the middle and turns his hips quickly. Fires from down low. That's exactly the way you teach it.
Was that 93 regional marred by rain and weather?
That was the 91,
okay.
1991 regional that was delayed a couple of days, maybe 2 or 3 days before it even started.
A low throw, but it's plucked by the first baseman De La Torre. And Travinsky is retired for the first time tonight. LSU's lead is 9-1 over South Alabama as we go to the 7th.
I'm Jason Tatum. Check out my Subway sub with delicious turkey and crispy bacon.
I'm Draymond Green with my Subway sub with tender steak and melty cheese.
My sub will help you put points on the board, unlike some other subs.
Why would you say that, Jason?
Hey, man, I'm just talking about subs here.
Oh, come on.
My sub is going to throw down.
My sub has more rings than your sub.
My sub has bacon.
Choose better, be better. And now buy one sub, get 150% off in the app. Subway, eat fresh.
But not Jason's sub.
I guess I'm here because a good friend told me that talking could help. So I figured I'd give it a try.
The road to the NFL Draft continues with Pro Days on ESPN. Get an inside look at the next generation of NFL stars.
It's an incredibly interesting draft.
With live coverage and expert analysis.
He's competing to be the first guy off the board.
Mobility, athleticism, he has all that.
He was right on the money. He did everything you would expect.
The 2021 Pro Days on the networks of ESPN. And don't miss the NFL Draft. Begins April 29th on ESPN and ABC.
LSU rolled up runs aplenty early, including a 6 spot in the second inning. It's 9-1 as we go to the 7th. And let's look at what's upcoming for South Alabama. Troy is the next opponent out of the Sun Belt Conference. That's April 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Then at Little Rock, at Southern Mississippi. That's a Conference USA opponent. Against the University of Louisiana on the 18th, 16th, 17th, and 18th, and then at Alabama State on the 20th for a non-conference game. That's what's upcoming for the Jaguars.
South Alabama picked to finish second in the Sun Belt Conference Eastern Division behind Coastal Carolina. And Coastal Carolina, by the way, dropped 3 of 4 in Lafayette last weekend to the Raging Cajuns.
Kaminer back on the hill for LSU. Reed Powers, the Jaguars catcher, is 0 for 2. He has grounded to third and flied to center. This is Kaminer's first complete inning of relief. Let's check some scores. Florida, Ole Miss, and Mississippi State were all postponed tonight because of weather. Kansas outslugged Missouri 10-9. Georgia shut out Clemson 2-0. Tennessee over West Carolina 9-2. Texas A&M blanked number 5 Texas 2-0. South Carolina is up on Gardner-Webb 9-2. That's in the 8th inning. Arkansas 14-7 in the 6th inning against Central Arkansas. Vanderbilt leads Tennessee Tech 10-4 in the bottom of the 6th. That's in Nashville.
That should be a capacity crowd, whatever the new capacity is for LSU baseball this weekend as top-ranked Vandy comes to town. Thursday, Friday, Saturday series. Everybody wanting a chance to see the Marceau Rocker matchup on Thursday. Also, Leiter on Friday, who amazingly has not allowed a hit through his first 2 starts this year in SEC play. That's just never been done before.
Cruz is on the run. He nears the warning track, and he's got it in deep right center field.
I wonder how much discussion there was with Leiter and Tim Corbin, the head coach at Vanderbilt. He went 7 hitless in his second start over the weekend, and they pulled him due to pitch count, the fact that it was a short week coming up, the LSU series. But, I mean, as a pitcher, you got a no-hitter going. You always think you got one more in you.
Well, he already had one in the previous start.
I know, but, I mean, you don't want 2?
I know. I get it.
It had to be a very difficult.
And wasn't it Johnny Vandermeer who pitched back-to-back no-hitters in Major League Baseball? I think it's the only time it's been done. I think he was a Cincinnati Reds pitcher. Somebody will tell us via your phone whether that's correct.
But that's I don't care how tired you are or maybe even how sore your arm is. That's a tough one to leave a game when you've got pitched 7 innings and haven't given up a hit.
Most pitchers would be ecstatic to go 16 innings without giving up a run.
Absolutely.
This guy goes 16 innings without giving up a hit. And in that no-hitter, I think he walked the first batter and then got 27 straight.
Correct. Struck out 16 of the 27.
By the way, LSU has been really good when leading after 6 innings. It's 16-1 on the year. Two balls, 2 strikes. Tiger bullpen is active. Kaminer misses.
By the way, in Leiter's,
that's Jacob Hasty.
Yeah, you see Hasty. In Leiter's outing against Missouri, that's who he went 7 hitless against this past weekend. Struck out 10 in 7 innings, but he did walk 3.
Well, they've averaged almost a strikeout and a half per inning, has the Vanderbilt staff. So if you like airtight pitching, when runs will be at a premium for both teams, make it a point to be here or watch it. The SEC ESPN network on Thursday and Saturday. Tom Hart, Ben McDonald on ESPN2 on Friday. That's about as good as it gets, Vanderbilt and LSU.
Kumar Rocker, who's going to pitch the Thursday game against Landon Marceau, he's 6-0 with a 0.73 earned run average. Friday's starter is Leiter is 6-0 with a 0.25 ERA.
And of course, don't forget about Marceau.
Yeah,
I mean, he's given up 1 earned run this year.
Right. I mean, first team to 2 wins, right? I mean, on Thursday, could be that.
Kaminer trying to find the right pitch on a 3-2 count. One out in the 7th, and a knock to left field. A good at bat by Stokes. And he steers one between Doty and Thompson. That's only the second, make it the 3rd hit. The second off Kaminer.
Inside out swing the other way.
Here's Santi Montiel.
And I have got numerous text messages that your Vandermeer is correct, sir. Just in case there was any doubt.
Well, I worked the second game. That was back in the 30s, wasn't it? 40s maybe? I don't know.
No, it was more recent than that.
I don't think so. I think one of my all-time favorite broadcasters did work those games, and that was...
it was 1938.
Yeah, that was Red Barber. And if I'm not mistaken, now this part I'm a bit hazy on, but if I'm not mistaken, one of those came in the first night game in Major League Baseball, that it was under the lights. And I think it might have been, I don't know if it was the first one or the second one, at Cincinnati, but I believe it was the first time they'd ever used lights.
June 11th, 1938, at Crosley Field in Cincinnati. Vanderbilt walked 3, struck out 4, didn't give up any hits against the Boston Bees.
Oh, wow.
And then 4 days later in Brooklyn, he walked 8, struck out 7 in the very first night game at Ebbets Field.
Okay.
So you're on fire tonight with your baseball history. He had some spectacular plays in that game at Ebbets Field by his teammates. And
I wonder how many pitches he threw. They didn't worry about all that.
They didn't worry about that.
No.
They didn't even keep that statistic back then, I'm sure.
It's like when you have to pick up your arm on the way to the dugout, you're done.
So Vandermeer pitched 13 years in the big leagues. He was a 4-time All-Star, but he had a career 119 wins, 121 losses.
But immortality, though.
Yeah, of course.
We've got an injury at first base.
Looks like his ankle might have gotten twisted. Oh, the old, ouch, ouch.
Yeah, that hurts.
The lunge, he lunged for the bag and came up a little short, and his ankle.
That's Hunter Stokes we're talking about.
Was big time twisted there. Hopefully that's all it is. Hunter Stokes, another one of those 12 redshirt seniors from Spanish Fort, Alabama, to Spanish Fort High School. Can't imagine he'll be able to stay in the game. I'm sure they're just checking it before they replace him.
Ronnie, we've got an updated score in the Kentucky game tonight, and that will bring us all up to date across the SEC. Kentucky beat a team I've never heard of, Bellarmine. Out of Louisville. It's a Catholic university. 4-3 the final. Kentucky beats Bellarmine.
That's what makes baseball, and hopefully that young man will be okay. Their senior second baseman. And he's going to be replaced by Drake Dubansky. You know, that's the great thing about baseball, Lynn. I've never heard of Bellarmine. You could have bet me whatever. I would have never been able to name anything about the school without Googling it. But yet Kentucky squeaks by him and beats them 4-3.
That's right.
I mean, it's amazing. Midweek games, you kind of get down the line a little bit with your pitching, and things start to even out sometimes in those Tuesday, Wednesday games.
So you want to try Drake again? The last name?
I would like to.
Dobianski.
Dobianski.
You were very close.
My Sprite can had a little shadow on the name, and I didn't get a good read there.
All right, it's Dobianski running at first. Ronnie and I will be back Thursday night. 6:30 is the start. Central Time, Vanderbilt and LSU. In the first game of that very attractive 3-game series, ESPN will carry the ESPN2 will carry the action on Friday, and then we'll be back on Saturday. Cruz is calling for it. He's got plenty of time to locate it. There's the second out. This will bring on Della Torre.
Now we're going to have the pulmonary situational relief move.
And this will be Hasty coming to the mound. Jacob Hasty is the next pitcher. We'll be back to see what transpires in a moment. LSU leading 9-1.
When heartburn takes you by surprise, fight back fast with new Tums Naturals, free from artificial flavors and dyes.
You ever think Pac-Man gets tired of eating these same little dots? I could get any 2 toppings on my large pizza for just $10. Pepperoni, sausage, bacon, the $10 tastemaker, only from Pizza Hut. I think I'm about to out-pizza the Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
I guess I'm here because a good friend told me that talking could help. So I figured I'd give it a try.
Sophomore Jacob Hasty is the latest reliever for LSU out of Keller, Texas. And he replaces Brandon Kaminer. Helmers, Money, Brady, Vittmeyer, Kaminer, and Hasty have all been throwing for LSU tonight.
Well, there's only one more lefty pitcher on their team. That's Javin Coleman. So maybe we'll see him before everything's over with tonight, so we can see all the lefties for LSU. Almanari getting them some work here in the only midweek game. You see George and others down there in the bullpen. I don't think Hasty will be the last pitcher we see from LSU.
LSU got a run in the first. It piled on 6 in the second, 1 in the third, 1 in the fourth. And South Alabama scratched for a run on a 2-out triple by Ethan Wilson, scoring a teammate from first base in the 6th.
You know what's amazing is that, LSU this weekend was swept up in Knoxville, 2 extra inning games. 6 of 7 series this weekend in the SEC were sweeps. As difficult as the league is from top to bottom and all the teams that are ranked, still 6 of the 7 series that were sweeps, and that's surprising.
That's very surprising. That is a very interesting oddity. Kentucky and Tennessee and Vanderbilt all are 5-1. to lead the Eastern Division. Ole Miss is undefeated after 6 SEC games. Arkansas is 5-1. Everybody else in the West is sub 500 in league play. Auburn hasn't won in 6 games. LSU is 1-5. So is Alabama. Texas A&M is 2-4, and Mississippi State is 2-4. Hasty working ahead, 2 strikes. That was a breaking pitch, and it's tapped foul.
Back in 2008, and that season, of course, gets brought up a lot right now with LSU's slow start at 1-5 in league play. LSU had lost 5 in a row later in the year and then went on a 23-game win streak. And I happened to see Mike Hollander, who's here at the ballpark tonight, the attorney Mike Hollander, who was the captain of that 2008 team, playing third base that year. He's here walking around watching the game.
Hasty tried to steer that one over the outside edge and misses wide. Two outs, a runner at first base. We play in the 7th. Hasty steers that one into the dirt. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, a runner at first base. A called third strike. Hasty hits the upper part of the strike zone with a mid popper at 90 miles an hour.
Good stuff by Jacob Hasty. Goes right at him and attacks him with that 90-mile-an-hour heater. LSU moves on to the bottom of the second, leads at 9-1 over USA.
Sam. Shouldn't have given up the shield. Good to see you too, Buck. I have bigger things to worry about. I'm coming with you. No, you're not. Let me hear you. If we do this, we're gonna do it our own way. Let me hear you. You ready for the brand new game? Let me hear you. Why didn't you use the metal arm? Right-handed.
Original series now streaming only on Disney+.
Design isn't just for designers. It's for everyone. With Canva, designing anything is easy.
Canva has all my content creation needs covered. It's flexible, fun to use, and free.
There are thousands of professional templates to help get you started, so you can create, customize, and share your designs in just a few clicks.
Our whole team uses Canva to create professional marketing material. It's our secret weapon for design.
Start designing for free at canva.com.
Symbols are nothing without the women and men that give them meaning. We need new heroes. It's time.
Marvel's latest must-stream event on Disney Plus is The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, now streaming.
Welcome back, everyone. We play in the bottom of the 7th inning. I hope your stretch was a healthy one. Noah Michael out of Mobile is the new pitcher for South Alabama.
Noah Michael hasn't pitched in over a month. He did have 2 appearances this year against Southeast Missouri and at Oral Roberts. Gave up a hit in both of those appearances. So an opportunity for him to kind of put up an inning and get the stats working in his favor.
Hunter Stokes, who was injured in getting back to first base and left the game, has been replaced by Brandon Auerbach at second base. So Brandon Auerbach is the new second baseman for South Alabama. Here's Jordan Thompson. He is 0 for 2. He has flied to center twice and walked in between those. South Alabama established 58 years ago, a relatively new university in Mobile. 15,000 students. Of course, the mascot is the Jaguar, and there's a rip to left, a base hit for Jordan Thompson. And Ronnie, you gotta love this. The Jaguars' nickname is, and this is perfect for baseball, Southpaw.
Well, that's a great nickname. Perfect.
Yeah, Southpaw. That's the Jaguars' nickname.
A little double entendre since it's a dog mascot probably, and it's left-handed, I'm assuming.
Now, I've got some information I have never seen before. I'm going to have to check it with our A-plus researcher, Randy Hayden, before I pass this along. But this is supposedly the origin of the word southpaw. So that's my teaser. We'll wait till we go to commercial break for me to kind of decipher these notes.
I'm going to remind you so you
well,
don't
the later we go in the games, the worse the handwriting gets. So there's a rip to center field, and it carries out to the center fielder. Well struck by Trey Morgan, but right at the center fielder's sandal.
You cannot hit a baseball any harder than that. That was an absolute stream of milk out to center field.
Let's listen to this.
I mean, it's coming right at you. Look at that ball. I mean, it got out to center field about 250 feet away in about 1.1 seconds.
Well, Morgan, who walked 3 times, now is struck out in line to center. And Will Safford comes to the plate. He has walked and been hit by a pitch and struck out and singled his last time. Now, those of you who have witnessed our South Alabama LSU games in the past have probably heard us say that the youngest university graduate ever graduated from South Alabama. His name is Michael Kearney. How old do you think he was when he graduated?
The youngest
ever.
I mean, the youngest ever, I'm going to go 12 or 13. Just some crazy.
10 years old. He was speaking at 4 months, complete sentences.
Wow.
He self-diagnosed himself with a left ear infection at 6 months when he went to a pediatrician.
That can't be true. That can't be true. Self-diagnosed himself at 6 months old. Oh,
guess what he's doing now, though? He's a stand-up comedian in Hawaii. Look, it's late. LSU's got a big lead.
What's his name?
Michael Kearney.
Michael Kearney. Google that. Google that name, Michael Kearney.
Kearney.
Youngest South Alabama graduate ever.
Youngest graduate ever.
Period.
You know anybody younger than 10?
I don't. I'm just saying, are we sure there's not a guy somewhere?
We're not completely sure. Stick with me, fellow.
Oh, no.
Way back it goes in center field. You can pucker up and kiss that baby goodbye. A mammoth shot just to the left of the batter's eye in deep left center field. And the Tigers add to their lead as Dylan Cruz hits one out of sight. It's number 8.
Well, I would say he made an adjustment from his first 4 at-bats, don't you think? We were talking about how they were kind of awkward swings tonight, and then that one wasn't awkward at all. Right to the right of the Tabasco sign, into the night in left center.
RBI, number 4 in the game, and 14 on the season now. And now Drost is going to pinch hit. Brody Drost pinch hitting for the Tigers. He takes a strike. Drost pinch hitting for Dugas, who had an RBI single. He walked with the bases loaded. He was hit by a pitch, and he popped up to the shortstop. So the Tigers are up to 44 home runs now. We don't know what Arkansas did tonight in the home run department, but if they had none, LSU would be 4 up over Arkansas nationally in home runs. Drost goes down on strikes. But Cruz hits one way, way back. Let's take a look at this swing. He got all of it. Over the center field wall it goes. And the Tigers lead 11-1.
I embrace getting older. I'm so much more confident now, but I don't love that as I age, I could develop gum issues.
New Colgate Renewal reverses early gum damage for a beautiful, revitalized smile.
I can't wait to see what comes next.
Reverse early gum damage with new Colgate Renewal.
Bundesliga. Leipzig.
It's a rivalry that's growing by the minute.
Bayern.
As first place Bayern take on second place Leipzig.
Saturday, Leipzig, Bayern on ESPN2.
He's going to come all the way around. How about that?
Where you at? Oh, where you at?
One in the first, 6 in the second, 1 in the third, 1 in the fourth, and 2 in the seventh on a Dylan Cruz home run. And LSU leads at 11-1 over South Alabama. We did some research between innings, and Arkansas hit 3 home runs today. So they're up to 43. The Tigers have hit 2 tonight. They're up to 44. That 44 leads the country. Arkansas in second place with 43. LSU has made multiple defensive changes. It looks like Drew Bianco is at third base right now. Braden Doty is catching. He replaces Travinsky. And Drew Bianco is the third baseman. Drost is also in the outfield.
Well, LSU, plays Thursday against Vanderbilt. Arkansas has a midweek game tomorrow against Memphis. So if you're an LSU fan, you'd like to see Arkansas not hit a homer tomorrow so that the Tigers can still have the home run record going into SEC play on Thursday.
Brody Drost is the left fielder. Will Safford remains in center. Dylan Cruz in right. Drew Bianco has replaced Doty at third.
Correction. Arkansas played Central Arkansas tonight.
Right.
They do not have a midweek game tomorrow. I was looking at last week. They played Memphis last Wednesday. So the good news is LSU will go into the SEC weekend as the national leader in home runs. Now, if they come out, if we're talking about this next Tuesday and LSU's still the national leader in home runs, that means good things happened over the weekend against Vanderbilt.
Collier Cranford is the new second baseman, and we've got a new pitcher as well. So we'll take a timeout right here and come back and finish this one. 11-1, LSU leading South Alabama.
Introducing new Voltaren Arthritis Pain Gel, the first full prescription strength non-steroidal anti-inflammatory gel available over the counter. New Voltaren is powerful arthritis pain relief in a gel. Voltaren, the joy of movement.
What's going on?
We're letting him go.
Let's start our own team. I've never coached before. Heads up!
That's one way to do it.
Tell my moms I love them! Oh, man down.
The road to the NFL Draft continues with Pro Days on ESPN. Get an inside look at the next generation of NFL stars.
It's an incredibly interesting draft.
With live coverage and expert analysis.
He's competing to be the first guy off the board.
Mobility, athleticism, he has all that.
He was right on the money. He did everything you would expect.
The 2021 Pro Days on the networks of ESPN. And don't miss the NFL Draft. Begins April 29th on ESPN and ABC.
The latest LSU reliever is Michael Fowler. He's a freshman from Alabama, majoring in business. This is his 4th appearance. He's worked 6 innings. He's only allowed 1 hit. Couple of walks, couple of strikeouts, so limited duty, but he's been very good in those 6 innings.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Fowler. I mean, it's amazing. LSU has 18 different pitchers on their team, so that's more than normal due to the COVID year. Tell you a little bit about Fowler. He's 6'3", 185-pound freshman from Alabama, from Trussville, Alabama. So
Tommy Van de Sanden is pinch hitting. He's from the Netherlands.
Ooh,
and he hits that one right back up the middle for a base hit. 1 pitch and a ringing single.
That ball was knuckled up the middle. It didn't even spin. It was hit so hard. Watch right here as this ball comes back at you. It looks like a knuckleball.
Now Bennett Shell comes on.
First few fastballs from Michael Fowler, hitting 90 miles an hour on the gun.
This will carry out to the new left fielder, and Brody Drost makes the catch as he retreats. So tell me, when you were pitching in the early 90s, 2 World Series championship rings awarded to you and your teammates over that period of time in 1991 and 93. How common, if common at all, was the knowledge of how fast somebody was actually throwing the ball in those days? Obviously, scouts had radar guns, but the information was not readily available, was it?
Yeah, it wasn't on the scoreboard like it is now, but we did have managers and pitchers that had thrown maybe the day before or something that were keeping the radar gun in the first row of the stands, and they would keep charts and write down each pitch and what it was, and oftentimes flash the number back to the dugout. And so if you saw a new pitcher coming on, the first couple pitches, hey, what's he got? And they would radar gun him, and he would signal to the on-deck guy or the dugout, hey, this guy's throwing 91, this guy's throwing 88, whatever it was. So we did know, just not pitch by pitch.
Here's Wilson. He knocked in a run in his last at bat with a triple to center field.
I can tell you that the radar guns, whether they were slower than they are now or whether the guys are just bigger, stronger, and better than we were back then, didn't see as many 90 pluses as you do nowadays in the SEC. Everybody throws 90 plus.
I read recently that the average major league fastball is 94 miles an hour.
That's pretty up there. I mean, when you have multiple guys that hit 100 miles an hour on a radar gun in the league, which they do, that's special. It used to be you might have one guy that threw 100 in Major League Baseball back in the day out of the bullpen or something, but now you've got multiple guys.
Two outs, 2 balls, 2 strikes. A called third strike. Wilson, South Alabama's best hitter, is called out. This one is right on the knees over the middle of the plate. Wilson didn't think so. We move on. 11-1 LSU.
The Bundesliga. Leipzig.
It's a rivalry that's growing by the minute.
Bayern.
As first place Bayern take on second place Leipzig.
Saturday, Leipzig, Bayern on ESPN2.
You don't need a reason to grab the DQ Chicken and Biscuits basket with 100% all-white meat chicken strips, golden fries, and 7 fluffy mini biscuits. But if you do want a reason, mini biscuits turn any meal into a mini celebration. Get it delivered at DQ.com.
I guess I'm here because a good friend told me that talking could help. So I figured I'd give it a try.
Georgia, Georgia, the whole day through, just an old sweet song. Georgia keeps Georgia on my mind.
Welcome back, everyone. LSU's lead is 11-1. We play in the bottom of the 8th inning. South Alabama has summoned yet another pitcher. This is Peyton Milirons out of Panama City, Florida. He is a senior. This is his third appearance. 0-1 record, a high ERA. 1 inning, 1 hit, no strikeouts, 1 walk. And both coaches are going very, very deep into their bullpens tonight.
Yeah, getting guys an opportunity to get some experience and not use up too many of your frontline guys before your weekend series. Milirons, 5'9", 200-pound senior from Panama City, Florida.
And we've got more defensive changes for South Alabama. Auerbach, who last inning was the second baseman, is now the third baseman. And we've got Shell has moved out to center field. And we've got a new second baseman as well. I'm trying to make that call. Vanden Sanden is the second baseman. By the way, this is pitcher number 14, Ronnie.
14 overall in the game. Seven pitchers so far for both teams. LSU has a couple pitchers throwing down the bullpen. So we may see 2 pitchers for the Tigers in the top of the 9th. It's Edwards on the right and Milas on the left. Drew Bianco's average up to 200. He is 6 for 30 on the season. Does have 2 homers in those 30 at-bats.
It would be nice to see him emerge from the slump. Well, as promised, we will get to the origin of the word southpaw. Got a new catcher too, Harrison Weyer.
This ball just skied on the infield in foul territory.
And caught by the third baseman.
I want to take a guess at it before you, and have not
You'll
looked.
never get it.
The origin of the word southpaw?
Yeah.
Not to the mascot.
No, it's got nothing to do with sports.
It has to do with the way the sun is and where the left-handed pitcher stands on the rubber, where the fields were pointed back in the day so that the sun was not in the hitter's eye.
Actually,
the left-handed side of the mound was towards the south.
Actually, there is some veracity to that.
Okay.
However, I'm going back even farther. I'm going back to 1848.
So that was when you were in junior high. That's what you're referencing.
I will ignore that. Southpaw, the term southpaw originally began in 1848 as a political cartoon from presidential candidate Millard Fillmore. He was depicted as absorbing a knockout blow, even though he went ahead and won the election. But he was depicted as absorbing a knockout blow by a southpaw. Look, I know it's anticlimactic. I know that. I just kind of read them sometimes from our researcher. I really ought to do a little bit more of an examination before I pass it along.
Of course, Randy Hayden would have a political angle on the origin of the word southpaw. By the way, you just explained what the origin is, and I still don't know what it is.
I'm not quite so sure I know what it is either.
I like my interpretation.
I do too, and yours has some veracity. Hayden will do anything to hold an audience in a runaway game. Collier Cranford comes to the plate for the Tigers, batting for the first time. And a quick strike. This right-hander's got a little giddy up.
Yep, 89.
But it sounds louder than that, doesn't it?
It does, and it also looks louder because he's only 5'9". So when a guy throws at 89, 90 miles an hour that's below 6 foot tall, it looks faster.
Cranford flirting with an extra base hit, and that is a foul ball.
Thought he had it. Thought that ball was going to get down in time for Cranford to get a double. Watch that line just to the right of the foul. About a foot or so, 2 feet foul. And that Batgirl down there was running for her life a little bit. She didn't really see it good, but she had the helmet on. She was good to go. She was well protected.
Pretty good cut there, but a better fastball. Cranford goes down on strikes, and we move on to the ninth. It's 11-1, LSU leading South Alabama on the SEC ESPN network.
Do you need help finding an apartment?
With Old Spice Clinical, you can say goodbye, Musty Sweat. Goodbye, more sweat. And goodbye, Parents' Basement.
I'm Jason Tatum. Check out my Subway sub with delicious turkey and crispy bacon.
I'm Draymond Green with my Subway sub with tender steak and melty cheese.
My sub will help you put points on the board, unlike some other subs.
Why would you say that, Jason?
Hey, man, I'm just talking about subs here.
Oh, come on.
My sub is going to throw down.
My sub has more rings than your sub.
My sub has bacon.
Choose better, be better. And not buy one sub, get 150% off in the app. Subway, eat fresh.
But not Jason's sub.
With Infinity Now, your test drive comes to you. So you can try one car one day, and another the next. Because when you find the kind of luxury that fits you, you'll know. Experience luxury on your terms when you purchase or lease a new Infiniti online with Infinity Now. Lease the 2021 Infiniti QX50 for $379 a month at your local Infiniti retailer.
11-1, LSU is leading South Alabama in this non-conference tune-up for the LSU Vanderbilt series Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And Garrett Edwards, the freshman who absorbed the loss on the Sunday game in Knoxville, is coming to the mound right now with some pretty good numbers.
Yeah, a lot to like about Garrett Edwards. Just over 10 innings pitched this year, 13 strikeouts.
Balgard at the plate.
Edwards, usually an 89 to 91 mile an hour fastball guy, but he really maximizes his 6'5" frame by throwing very over the top to create that angle.
That took an awkward bounce that was fielded nicely by Morgan, and he gets it over to Edwards for the putout.
See if this ball kind of rolls up his arm a little bit here. Kind of just able to pull his glove up kind of to his armpit. Made a nice play on that big hop.
Now Ware comes to the plate. He was catching last inning, and he takes a strike. This is his first at bat. I want to issue a public apology on behalf of Randy Hayden for passing along that southpaw note.
It'll never happen again.
No, never. We will accept no more late inning notes.
I blame you a little bit.
You read it.
You read it first.
I did.
You had the decision to make, or you could have added to the story, made it a little better if you wanted.
Anything would have made it better. The mistake was teasing it in the 6th inning. And you were going to go ahead and let it just pass after promising me that you were going to say, okay, let me remind you to do that.
Yeah, my ADD kicked in. I forgot about it. And
well, I'm not blaming you. No, it's totally Randy's responsibility. And then me as an editor also will take some blame.
Well, Paul Maneri got out of this game what he wanted, and that was to get back in the win column, get a comfortable victory, get a lot of different guys into the lineup. LSU able to take advantage of a bunch of walks early in this game by South Alabama and had a couple of homers as well. So they'll feel good about themselves after they get a practice in tomorrow and get ready for Vanderbilt on Thursday.
Another 3-1 putout. By the way, if the weatherman is correct, it's going to be nasty tomorrow, but Thursday, Friday, Saturday should be fine for baseball.
Mm-hmm.
It will be a bit chillier, as it normally is, it seems, a few days ahead of Easter. Have you noticed that? There's always that one last little Arctic blast before Easter.
I'm going to trust you on that. I haven't checked my almanac to see if that weekend before is usually
that did
cold.
not come from Hayden. Everybody who's planted bedding plants knows that. Of course, my motto is, if you can't eat it, mow it down. Two strikes, 2 outs in the 9th. Garrett Edwards trying to close it out. 11 runs, 9 hits, no errors for LSU. 1 run, 4 hits, no errors for South Alabama. Ooh, that didn't miss by much. The 2-2 pitch. Swing and a little tip foul. We will do it again.
You know, Garrett Edwards kind of in that mix for closer for Paul Maneri. I don't know if Paul Maneri truly has one at the moment. You know, they got Fontenot, Floyd, Edwards. I think it just depends on who's available.
Another foul ball.
And it's probably whoever has the hot hand is who he's going to go with.
Well, that is certainly a question mark as this season unfolds and the bulk of the SEC schedule rears itself. The 2-2 pitch. Grounded to the left side. Bianco makes a nice play. Chunks it, and it's high and wide. Morgan came off the bag, but he could not make the catch, nor could he hold his foot on the sack. Drew Bianco hasn't had much experience down at third base this year. Makes a nice play, had to back up to get it.
Well, he made a nice play on the ball, but you saw his elbow kind of drop down, and he pushed it, and it sailed on him. He had time. He did the toughest part, which is to make that drop step, field it, turned his body, but elbow just went into his armpit.
So there's the first error of the game. Sorrenti at the plate with a 158 average. One quick program reminder, Thursday, 6:30, Vanderbilt, LSU, right here on the SEC ESPN Network. Tom Hart, Ben McDonald will have the call on ESPN2 on Friday at 6:30, and then Saturday's start is 2 in the afternoon. We'll be right back with you right here on the SEC ESPN Network. A huge series coming up between pitching-rich Vanderbilt and LSU. One ball, 2 strikes on Sorrenti.
This is the part of Edwards' game that he's got to work on in order to really kind of Paul Maneri to trust him in that closer role, is that wipeout pitch. What are you going to throw here when it's 1-2 and you want a strikeout? Can he have a killer pitch?
That's a little bit inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. We play in the 9th. LSU leads 11-1 and has never been threatened in this game, scoring 1 in the first, 6 in the second, 1 in the third and fourth, and 2 in the 7th. If you've just joined us, a couple of home runs for LSU tonight. 44 on the year now, still leading the nation by 1 over Arkansas, which hit 3 homers tonight. But the Tigers got a home run from Travinsky, his 3rd of the season, and a home run from Cruz, his 8th of the year.
So now Cruz and Doty both tied with 8 homers. A little race to see who gets to 10 first.
The outfield is deep. The 2-2 pitch from Edwards. Another foul ball, just a little sliver of contact.
See, if Edwards can throw that same pitch on the outside portion of the plate, he'd probably get a swing and miss or a weak ground ball. That time he left it back over the middle in, and the batter was able to just get a piece.
Here's pitch number 9, and we'll have a 10th one.
Palmineri getting some work in down there for Aaron George. At the same time, he doesn't want Edwards to throw too many pitches because he wants him to be fresh and available for Thursday. So that's something to keep an eye on.
Between the teams tonight, we've had over 315 pitches. That's a pretty gutsy take.
This is the 28th pitch coming up for Edwards, and I would think that if he gets on base, you're going to see a pitching change because you ideally don't want Edwards to throw more than 30 in an inning.
Well, why not another pitching change? It'll give us the opportunity to talk about the evolution of second base.
How about this, the 12th pitch of this at-bat coming up right here.
Popped up left side. Shortstop's calling for it, and the Tigers win it. So it took a while, but LSU scores 11 runs, banged out 9 base hits. Just about everybody available got to work from the mound tonight, and Ronnie, a comeback after the disappointing weekend in Tennessee. The Tigers get back into the win column, getting ready to face Vanderbilt.
Yeah, you see a little smile on the face of the Tigers. That was a tough weekend where they lost 2 extra inning games and got swept, and played well enough to win a couple and just didn't go their way. But tonight, a dominating win. They got a chance to play a lot of different people, and tomorrow they'll rest, regroup, a little light workout, and get ready for what will be the biggest challenge of the year to date, Vanderbilt, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at the box.
So LSU wins this one. A 6-run second inning was the huge difference maker for Ronnie Rance. I'm Len Rollins. So long from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, where the final score is LSU 11, South Alabama 1. This has been a